Welcome back to installment 15 of Richard Burdick's Numismatic interview. We were talking last time about the Pogue collection. They had the good fortune of coming along at a time when several major collections with major rarities and in incredible conditions came available. And how did Brent ever get started in the coin collecting hobby?
Well, we talked about that a lot. And I think he became first interested in coins around the mid 1970s. And his father took him to a coin shop in Dallas, Texas. Goloid Corporation, I think that was the name of it. It was owned by Mike Brownlee, who was a very, very advanced collector and knowledgeable of early U.S. gold coins. And I think it was around 1978. Brent's dad would go with him and take him to the store. I believe Brent told me that Mike Brownlee sold his father and pretty much a date set of early turban $10 gold pieces. It had already been acquired, and it kind of piqued his father's interest. So they continued doing this, and Mike Brownlee became a very, very good mentor. Taught Brent many of the rights and wrongs of collecting coins, and this was a great thing for Brent because he had somebody to avoid the pitfalls. It's right to know the right thing and don't find out at the end of your life you did the wrong thing, especially with collecting coins or anything, artwork, any type of collectible. You need to have knowledge. And after a few years, somehow they got acquainted with David Akers. And David was one of the most knowledgeable numismatists I've ever met. And him and Brent worked together for many, many years. And Brent was a very astute student and learned a tremendous amount from David Akers. And Brent never deviated from the certain rules. And one of the rules was you never buy a coin that's been cleaned or altered in any way by a human being. And he stuck to those guns. And that's why the Pogue collection ended up being such coins of high quality. Many of them, finest known, were shortly behind that. And he never deviated from that.
When you were helping the family acquire coins, did you ever go to auctions and not buy anything?
Yes. The Morris collection was in Dallas, Texas. I forgot, around 2006, I think. And there was an ultra high relief that was high on the top 10 wanted list. That's what Brent would call it, the top 10 most wanted. And there was an extra high relief in there. And these are expensive coins at this time. $1 million, several $1 million and up. And I went to the auction, and I was on the telephone with Brent. And we'd set a level. The coin opened up $100,000 above our limit, and we stuck to that. We let it go. We never did acquire one, actually, ultra high relief.
Were there other sales after this? After it was at the large cent collections that had come up, or what was else was on the list after the Cardinal collection?
Well, the most important collection, one of the most important collections, and I had told Brent about this collection for many, many years. Half cents were the weakest series in their whole collection, because at this point nothing major had come along. And I knew Jim McGuigan quite well, and I knew he had a magnificent collection of half cents. And he showed me a number of the early ones. He had a magnificent 1793 half cent. And many, he had a very, very advanced collection. tried to buy it. It just was not for sale at any price. He's just not. He was in love with these coins, and he wasn't done collecting, and so that was off the table. But I also knew that he was a friend and acquaintance of a gentleman from St. Louis. His last name was Tettenhorst. I can't remember his first name. I actually met him a couple of times at EAC conventions, but I asked McGuigan to approach him because it was pretty well known that he probably had the best collection of half cents. And McGuigan asked him, and there's no way the coin's going to get sold. It's just not going to happen. There's one other extremely advanced collection of half cents that's in New England. That collection was off the table. So we were at a roadblock.
Coins were impounded in collections.
In major collections.
Money didn't matter. They were true collectors.
Exactly. They just weren't for sale. And then I think it was in early 2013. The word was out. The Missouri Cabinet Technicolor's collection of half cents was going to come on the market. And like I said, I've been telling Brent about this collection and his father for many years. Well, here it's coming up. So there again, I was actually invited to go to Beverly Hills, California by the Goldbergs, who was going to handle the sale. Before these coins were ever slabbed, they wanted me to get a chance to see them. And I spent 5 or 6 hours one day with Chris McCauley, and I learned more about half cents that day than any other day of my life. Chris is he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people in the country about early copper in general. But it was a thrill to be privileged to go through these coins one at a time, taking our time, and he taught me a great deal. I owe him a great deal of gratitude for that. So then again, after the coins were sold, they invited me, after the coins were graded by PCGS, they invited me to come in there again and evaluate the collection. Of course, I took a bunch of notes, and Brent and I got together actually several days before the auction. He invited me to come out to Southern California and develop a strategy, this and that, which pieces would help the collection, which ones are probably finest knowns. And there were just many opportunities to acquire, fill in basically many of the holes that we had nothing, had no representation whatsoever. And there was also a few upgrades. So the night of the sale, we went in there and caused quite a bit of damage, but it really fast-tracked.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who were hoping to buy some of those rarities that just went home empty-handed.
Yeah, I got a couple stories I better not tell, because there was a couple guys really not happy with me. I don't want to go there. It's just, there's going to be a winner and a bunch of losers. The underbidders and triple underbidders. That's why they have auctions, because the guy, I can't think how that saying goes. I can't think of exactly how I like to explain that at this point. But we acquired some just monster coins.
Right. Well, besides the auctions, you found interesting stuff at coin shows too, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
What was the story about the Jefferson nickel set?
Oh my word. That actually surfaced in a collection in northwest of Detroit. It was more of an accumulation than a real collection. It's a large hoard of silver dollars. I didn't really want to buy this thing, but I called a friend of mine, dealer, who would love to get involved to handle a collection like this. So we made arrangements to see the collection. I picked him up at the airport in Detroit, went and looked at it, and they came to terms real easy. And we brought the whole collection back here, and it took me 2 or 3 days to box this thing up and ship it to where it needed to go. So,
Was it the tone set?
oh, excuse me. In that collection, there was a collection of Jefferson nickels. It was in an old capped plastic holder like this. And this collection was just unbelievably beautiful, gold, violet and gold, predominant colors. And the coins towards the edge of the holder had this light pastel violet, I would call it. And as it got closer to the center of the holder, they were more of a golden color with a little violet in the periphery. I mean, I didn't think a set of Jefferson nickels like this could exist, but here it was right in front of me. So my friend, because I turned him on to this hoard of coins, basically, he gave me this set of Jefferson nickels. And I had no intentions of sending them in for grading. I was going to leave them right in that capped plastic holder. And I took him to a show one time. I wanted to show him to Brent. No intention to sell them to him. He saw this set of coins, and he just said, "How much is it?" I said, "Brent, I don't." He said, "How much is it?" And I said, "Look, a set of uncirculated Jefferson nickels is worth, on its best day, $200. A set like this, beautifully toned's got to be worth at least several times that." He said, "How much is the collection?" And I said, "Well, $1,200. And I said, "You'll probably never be able to duplicate a set like this, and it's kind of a strong, crazy price," but he bought it.
He probably couldn't get his wallet out fast enough.
And anyways, when it came time to sell that collection, I think he sold it for $6,000 or $7,000.
Wow.
I do believe that was the price.
Well, collections come and collections go, and in the Pogue sale, they sold their collection, and
Yeah, it was a series of actually 7 auctions, I think.
wow.
And the last two been part of Brent's private collection, the paper money, I think, and there's probably the finest set of barber quarters ever assembled. There was some really special coins in there that he'd put away from himself. And one of them was the 53 arrows and raised quarter that I spoke about earlier. There was a magnificent 1974 CC half dollar. Amazing coin.
Did you ever know him to break his rule and buy clean coins, even one?
No,
That's amazing.
I can't remember.
It's
I
amazing.
can't remember that ever happening.
It's really amazing to have that much discipline.
He was. He was going into it. I think maybe David Akers probably taught him that. He never forgot. I never known him to.
Well, let's go past.
There were times. There was one time. I'm not going to mention the specific coin, but it's one of the most in-demand, rarest early large cent. And Brent looked at the catalog and he says, we got to have that. And I said, "Brent, that's a coin you probably don't want to buy." He said, "Oh, no, we're going to buy it." And I said, "Well, part of the reason you asked me to help you on this is to steer clear of coins that have been played with, doctored, whatever." And I said, "I don't care how rare this is. And it's generally accepted. Yeah, it's the finest known. But I suggest you don't buy this coin." And he actually overrid that decision. And we kept talking about it, and he finally says, "Okay, you're right." And it brought over $500,000. We didn't even bid on it.
Wow.
And that's the closest he ever came to breaking that rule. But at the end of the day, we didn't buy it.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting stories. We appreciate you talking to us. Next time we're gonna go into your collections, not collections you've been building for other people, but we're gonna start with collections that you built for yourself and what got you started in that. Once again, if you like our channel, please like and click that subscribe button. Thank you.